Ask This Old House, our experts travel across the country to answer questions about your house. Today, we'll create a stone water fountain that will add interest to any garden. Then, on Tool Lab, we'll break down miter saw blades and help you select the right one for your next project. And we've convened our team to explain how issues in the supply chain are impacting both contractors and homeowners. On Ask This Old House.
See how the water splashing down.
I love that. I love that.
Hey guys.
Really
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
What are you two up to? You look like you're conspiring here.
Well,
We're talking about boulders, rocks, natural stone in the landscape.
right.
Yep, something you love to do a lot, Jen.
So I love to incorporate natural stone, whether it's a boulder or a slab step or even a fountain. It just really adds that, I don't know, it feels like it's supposed to be there.
Right, water features right there. Obviously, you do it a lot, and you're clearly a rockhead. Mason.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It
Thank
is,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you. But if I'm on site and I find a nice boulder, rock, stone,
Yep.
I do collect it, bring it home, put it in a pile.
Seriously?
Yeah, you gotta have a rock
Seriously,
stash.
I do water features. I'll do bird baths out of it.
Yeah.
I'll actually give some stones away.
Wow.
There's a lot
people
of
love
like homeowner-friendly projects
Right.
that you can do that
Yeah.
it's not too intimidating.
Am I sensing a collaboration here?
Well,
What do you think, Jen?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna do a fountain. So, you got some rocks,
I got the rocks.
Okay.
I got some tools.
Yep.
and I've got the equipment.
All right. Well, have at it, and I'll check back with you, see what you come up
Right,
with.
let's
cool.
get going.
Mark, that's a nice looking rock you got there.
This is great, isn't it?
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the shape of it.
I love the shape. I love the color too. This will really pop when it's wet.
Yep, total natural stone. Here's the basin, right?
Okay, yep.
So here's the lid. We'll talk about that last.
Yep.
So water goes in here. We have the pump. All you do is plug it in.
Great.
The water is going to stay within this basin. You put the lid back on
Okay.
through this hole. So there's these drainage holes, right? So it's a recirculating system. So we pop this
Water
on.
just goes down the hole and then just comes right back up.
Right. And
Yeah.
So all you have to do is plug it in, but we need a hole in that rock. And another thing, it looks too big.
Okay.
It's going to crack the top.
Yeah, I can solve both problems.
Okay.
So what we'll do to accept this pipe is we'll just core a hole in the rock.
Okay.
And then to size it up for what we need, I actually brought some feathers, some wedges. I have
Yes.
a drill.
Okay.
You have a hammer.
Yep.
So let's shape this guy and get it going.
Only if you let me do it.
You're doing it, Jen.
All right, cool.
All right. All right, Jen.
Yep.
What I'm gonna need you to do first is give me 3 holes. That's a straight line.
Okay.
So give me 3 holes that'll accept the feather and the wedges.
Okay.
It's a great drill. It's got a HEPA-vac already built into it, so we don't have to worry about the dust. Do have to use our glasses though, but give me 1 here, 1 in the middle,
Okay.
and then give me another one 4 inches to the.
What do you think about that?
I think that's great. What'd you do, about 3 or 4 inches, I think? Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Does that work?
So that's great.
Ooh, look
I
at
like
that.
Yeah.
That is a beauty.
Great one. HEPA-vac did a great job. So I'd run it 3 or 4 inches that way.
Okay.
Give me the same type of hole.
So go level so it sucks it up.
Yep. Start slow.
Good?
Great.
Sweet.
One more.
All right, Mark, next steps.
All right, well, we're going to put the feather and wedges in, but I do want you to notice one thing. They're all going to go in the direction that I want cut.
So the feathers, it's important they all
That they
face the
split.
same way.
Yep.
Yep.
And I want to get the ears of the feathers pretty much level with the stone.
Okay. I think that's a really great tip.
Yeah.
It goes in the direction it splits.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't imagine it, but people do make that mistake from time to time, and they get frustrated. They don't know why the stone won't split.
So is it easier to put the whole piece, the ensemble, together?
I put them together because that way I can teeter that wedge, and I can pull it up or push it down, whatever it takes to make my wedge fit in. And as I'm in that hole, you can see I'm just going to try to jiggle it around. So you are ready to go, Jen. You are about to make some beautiful music with the stone, so have at it.
Awesome. I love this soundtrack.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just keep going.
Rotate. Just keep going back and forth, and you'll hear it.
All right, I'm going to go down here.
Okay. See my line?
Yep.
Okay, so keep cracking.
All right. This one's tough. Like the thickness, stronger in some parts than the other.
Now make sure you come down this line. Stay on those two. There you go.
The best.
It's always the best.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
That is so beautiful.
And we have these iconic characteristics in the stone. Everybody says, "What's that?" No one knows. It's
Nobody
a feather
knows.
and a wedge.
It's from these.
Yeah.
It never gets old.
Never gets old.
Okay, so now we're going to put a hole through the center so it can accept the tubing from the basin.
Okay. Where do you like that hole, Jen? Is it going to be to the top, to the bottom, in the center?
Center.
Center.
And then we can have equal flow.
Everything spills equally.
Yeah, when the water is pushed out, it could just go equally.
All right. I'm good to go. Put in my air protection.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're just going to assemble the fountain kit.
Great.
So this is the basin. Just a little recap.
Yep.
Simple, simple. We have the pump. I've already checked the level, so I want this to come at a certain height within the
Exactly.
stone. All we do is place it down
Right.
and make sure the cord is out. And this top has this really great little notch that the cord, so it doesn't get wet.
That's great,
It comes
yeah.
out this side. But before we do that, I don't want to pour the water in, so
All right.
I'll slide that over. I'm gonna go like this. Sorry about the splash.
Nope, I'll hold the pump.
Good.
So Jen, the quick question that I have is this pump,
Yes.
what size is it?
That is a very good question because when I was buying pumps, there were so many different kinds.
Right.
This one is 250 gallons per hour.
Okay.
So you'll see GPH on it. So this one's a 250. I was looking at the 750, and
Which is-
it would be like a geyser. So we
Right.
definitely you want to pay attention to that amount of power.
Great.
All right. That looks pretty good, right?
Yeah. That's great now.
Okay, now make sure the cord goes out that side.
Right.
Right, the little notch right there.
Cool.
All right, position that straight.
That is.
All right, to lift with the quads,
Yep. Bend the knees.
direct that in there.
And I'll hold that. You got it. You're right in.
Got it. Perfect.
Perfect.
And then all we need is to dress it up. So here's another thing. Here's holes for the water to recirculate in.
Yes.
I have river stone we could place around it so you don't even see the basin. This gets buried underground, of course, and all you're gonna see is the rock, the stone, and a little water.
So simple, yet you just get such a big punch out of it. I love it.
Excellent.
All right, let's get that rock.
Okay.
All right.
Whoa, look at you guys, huh?
Yeah.
Mark, from your personal curated collection.
Sure was. Looks
Very
beautiful.
nice. And what do we got here?
These are Miami beach pebbles, nice, smooth, rounded stone. They're this color when they're dry. When they're wet, a glistening black.
That's a nice choice. Speaking of when they're wet, can we fire this thing up?
Yep.
Jen,
Here we go. You guys ready?
we're ready.
Do we stand back,
We,
or-
we might as well.
I'm gonna stay down here.
Oh, it's just a little gurgle.
Yeah.
Look at that. And just don't forget,
Look at
this
that.
basin is gonna be underneath the ground, so your landscaping could go around it,
Yeah.
plants right up to it. This is disguised.
I love it. So it looks good now. I
Yep.
mean, that's pretty cool. And certainly when this is at grade in a garden or whatever,
Yep.
that is going to look fantastic.
Right.
Nice job, guys.
All right.
Thanks. That was so
Kevin.
good.
How do we get on the friends and family list for free stones?
You just got to sign up, Kevin.
Really?
Just call me.
Yep.
Having the right blade can make a huge impact on the quality of your cut and the safety, especially when it comes to slide style saws. Most stock blades that come on miter saws are general purpose blades that are great for cutting a variety of materials, but typically they're not the best blade. Miter saws come in a variety of sizes from 7 1/4 all the way up to 12 inches, but 10 inches is very common and you have the most options for picking out blades. Miter saw blades are comprised of the following parts: the steel plate, which is the main body, laser etched cuts to reduce noise and vibration, carbide teeth, which are attached through a process called brazing. Less expensive blades typically have a softer, smaller carbide, where more expensive blades have a harder, larger carbide, which can be sharpened multiple times, and the space between the teeth is called the gullet. And in the center of the blade, a 5/8 arbor hole, which is where the saw blade attaches to the miter box. But some manufacturers make different size arbors. Full kerf blades cut at about 1/8 of an inch and are typically more stable and have less deflection through a cut. Thin kerf blades cut at about 3/32 of an inch and offer less resistance and are better for coreless saws. Finally, many manufacturers apply a protective coating to their blades, which helps reduce friction while cutting. Next, let's talk about tooth geometry. The carbide teeth are cut in a variety of angles designed for specific materials, and there's two general categories. Alternate top bevel, or ATB blades, have teeth that are beveled in opposite directions to one another, which makes for much cleaner cuts across the grain. These teeth, coupled with high tooth count, produce very clean cuts. High angle ATB blades, or high ATB, have a very steep angle, creating a very fine point. These are great for MDF and veneered plywoods. Triple chip grind, or TCG teeth, are ground down on the corners and are great for cutting non-ferrous metals and plastics. The hook angle, also known as the rake, refers to the angle of the tooth in relation to the center of the blade. Higher hook angles make more aggressive cuts. Low to negative hook angles are best for slide style saws. Heavier hook angle blades are good for chop saws and hardwoods. Manufacturers offer a variety of blades designed for specific tasks, and you might end up buying a few more blades than you think you need. A quality blade costs a little bit more, but it's money well spent. And with that investment, you do want to take care of your blades. If you see a lot of pine pitch build up on the teeth, you want to clean that off to make it last longer. Also, if you see a lot of burning or feeling a lot of resistance through your cuts, might be time to take the blade off, sharpen it, or swap it out with a new one. And remember, a clean, sharp blade is a safe and accurate blade.
So you guys ready to talk supply chain?
Sure.
Yeah, problem, right? And so you can't find the materials you need. I think I know why we can't find any contractors. They're all here. But in all seriousness, has it affected your industry specifically, Jen?
Absolutely, like concrete pavers, decking, and then you have to have the patience of your client.
You can't get the stuff.
You can't get the stuff. It was been delayed 3 months here, 3 months there, and try telling that to your client who's already been waiting 8 months to get to their house, right?
What can't you get, Ross?
Wi-Fi chips for smart home devices, they're on back order.
Whole heat pumps that are coming from afar, but also an odd thing, components like tub fillers. You can't get You can still get the big parts, but you can't get the washers and the stems and all the things that are outsourced from all over the globe. So it's the little component parts that means you can't get the big parts.
What's going on in masonry, Mark?
If I had to pick one material that you just can't get, it's going to be bluestone.
Bluestone?
Yeah.
That comes from here.
It comes from here, but they can't get it out of the mountain. There's not enough labor to curate the material from the mountain.
Gotcha. Mara, what about you? Backups?
I can get some paint bases to make darker colors.
You can't.
Cannot.
So you just telling customers you can't get them?
Tell the cousin, choose another color, or we're gonna wait, but we don't know when we're gonna get it.
What's it like on those job sites, Pops?
It's you name it, everything from concrete to a job site. You can't get a concrete truck because you don't have a driver. Windows, 16, 18, 20 weeks out. Lumber, roofing materials, all kinds of things. You can't get it. It's around, but you can't get it to the job site.
So how are the customers taking it, Jen? What do they say when you tell them they can't have this or that?
Some are understanding and say, "Oh, we understand," but can you make an exception? Like, don't you have some kind of connection?
Buddy.
I got a guy, but no, people are not as flexible because they are stuck in their homes and they just want change. Everyone's been trapped, right? They want change, and if I can't help them get there, I feel really bad, but it's not my fault.
How are your customers taking it, Ross?
Frustrated.
Yeah.
They're like, why can't I get that system? Why can't I put that in? It's like you have to wait, or you have to have that plan B.
Right.
That's a hard conversation to have, and it's have a plan B, have a plan C now in this environment, just to make sure that if there's something goes wrong and you can't get that system, you have a backup plan. Not everybody wants to hear that though.
Mark, you're doing residential and commercial. Do you see it equally as trying in both sides of that?
Very much so, and in particular, on the commercial side, there's still penalty clauses written in contracts. So if you
Penalties against you.
against me. So if I can't get my product on site, it's all on me, and again, it becomes a business problem very, very quickly.
But that has to be relieved. That time clause in commercial projects can no longer stand if it's an external factor beyond your control.
So to Richard's point, that's what I fight every day.
So what's the root cause, do you think?
In some ways, it's a weird confluence. We've got unbelievable demand. This just pent-up demand from everybody was home during the pandemic. They want to fix stuff up. There's cheap money. At the same time, we've got incredible supply, but it's sitting in cargo ships and sitting offshore. We just don't have the last mile. We can't connect the last mile between the supply and the demand. And then, that's just on the material side. You combine that with a labor shortage, it's a crazy thing. And no matter how you tell somebody 16 weeks, there's no way to make 16 weeks sound, because that's actually 4 months. That's
right.
It's
The
a long,
reality
it's
is
like
they don't
a third
look
of
that
a
far
year,
ahead.
or just no matter how you say it, it's not.
It makes them not want to do the project.
So the plan B, Tommy, if you've got a customer and they want what they want and you just can't deliver it, are there tips, things that they should be thinking about in terms of how to deal with something that you can't fix?
My rule of thumb years ago was plan A and plan B. All right, pick a second choice in case we can't get that tile. Now I mean it more than ever, A, B, or C. And I can't even guarantee C, but you have to be flexible in that way. So maybe the tile that you wanted the first isn't going to make it. The second one's not going to make it, but we are lucky with the third, but it's going to be still going to be 14 weeks away. So you have to be flexible in that way as a homeowner to take it. I mean, people have money because they're not going away, and now they're building that dream addition or whatever they're doing, or buying a car. Whatever they're doing because they get extra money and they want to spend it.
Mara, if you build a house and you get down to the final steps and you pick the color and you fell in love with it and they hear they can't have a dark color, what's plan B?
Oh, I can see on their faces. They don't like it. They don't like it at all. Because they base the colors on everything else, like a couch or a rug or a curtains, everything. So they hate it when I say, I don't have this color.
That plan C tile they'll look
that's
at for the
plan
rest
C.
of their life and think of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Same
Ross,
thing.
most people don't even know the systems you're talking about, right? They're not that sophisticated. How could they come up with a plan B? What do you tell them? Like, what is the alternative?
I mean, sometimes it's looking at a different manufacturer that might have something available. In one project in particular, there's a shortage of refrigerators, right? So the refrigerator that is actually cased, the opening for, and everything's ready to go for, it's a 20-week lead time item. So what they're doing is they're getting a temporary refrigerator to put in, and they're going to wait that time period, until they actually get the refrigerator that they finally ordered.
Right.
So these, okay.
What I was just going to say, Kevin, is there are restrictions for truckers. So it's not like if I had bluestone in Connecticut and I'm from Massachusetts, I can get in my truck, drive down to Connecticut, load my truck, and leave. There are state bylaws and state restrictions that I would have to abide by, so I can't go down and get my own material. I can't solve the problem that way.
Interstate, intrastate,
Yeah.
you have to have a certain license for that. Your truck has to be able to carry the load, and your license has to be able to drive that load.
Your Bluestone situation brought up the point of labor, though, and we have been talking about the labor shortage for years. It feels like it is finally coming home to roost. Are any of you guys less busy than you've ever been? I mean, this is the busiest time you've ever been, all of you? Busy?
The busiest.
Busiest.
Busy,
Very,
busy?
very busy.
Are you all looking for people? Is everyone looking for people?
Absolutely.
Always.
There's nobody in the skilled trades that isn't looking for more people.
But we're not as busy as we should be because we can't get that help. So if we had 2 jobs to do, we can only do 1. So
what would we say, again, to all these young people who are thinking about maybe or maybe not going into the trades? What do you say to them?
I mean, there's nothing more fulfilling than working with your hands, working on a craft that you basically can come home and sleep good at night and basically have, a great experience for that day. There's nothing like making your own, work schedule, right?
And who got to work in a pandemic? I mean, we were deemed essential workers. We could go out, we took COVID tests, we were masked up, but we were able to work. So
Recession-proof, pandemic-proof.
Any younger person in this world, you have 2 hands, you could work with it, and you can make money
Working
and be creative.
At least 40 hours a week,
Yep.
time and a half, and plenty of jobs to go to.
Yep.
I mean, get it back into the schools. Teach these young kids that they can do stuff with their hands. Junior high and high school, if nothing else. Teach them. Get them aware of it.
And they'll feel good about themselves, too. That's a huge thing.
Crystal ball time, if we had this if you had to predict how long is it going to go on? Is it about to wrap up? We got 6 more months, more than a year left. How long are these shortages of both materials and labor going to go, Tom?
I like to think no more than a year, but I really don't know.
Mara?
I say it's unpredictable. Don't know.
Mara?
I agree with everyone, but I'm still feeling pretty positive. I think it's gonna alleviate itself.
Richard?
I think we got at least another year.
Same, at least another year.
I'm going for optimism here, working with plants. We just need to get them dug and brought to your space. So I think it's going to get better sooner than we think.
Sounds like I'm hearing be creative.
You go in 11 months?
He's hedging her bets.
Be creative, be positive, and young people get into the trades, right?
Absolutely. We need them.
All right, thank you guys. Now, please, everyone, back to work. We need you out there. Go on.
I'm up for that.
Next time on Ask This Old House, from dishwashers and drains to boilers and basements, we'll look back on 20 years of Richard helping homeowners across the country on Ask This Old House. Then, we'll tell you all you need to know about selecting and installing a smart thermostat. And we'll repair an old porch column base with a rot-resistant wood alternative.
Okay.